Do you love to travel? Well, what if I told you there was a way for you to travel anywhere in the world that you wanted, and the IRS will allow you to write that trip off on your taxes? Well, today we're gonna talk about one of my favorite strategies to turn your personal vacations into legitimate tax deductible business trips, which will allow you to write off the flight, to write off the hotels, and even to be able to write off some of the meals while you're traveling as well. So if you're interested about this topic, make sure you watch today's episode in full, and at the end, I'll give you a secret strategy on how to travel tax-free. Let's get it. What's up, family? Welcome to another episode of Tax-Free Living. I'm your host, Carter Cofield, and I'm excited, guys. I'm excited because my goal here is to teach you all how to save tens of thousands of dollars in taxes, but I also want to teach you all how you can live your best life and get the IRS to help pay for it. And that's my goal when it comes to teaching about taxes. I don't want you just implementing strategies that don't work for your lifestyle. I want you to implement the strategies and live your best life at the same time. That's why today's topic is going to be teaching you all how to turn personal vacations into legitimate tax deductible business expenses. Okay, so if you haven't already done so, hit that like button and hit that subscribe button so you can always be around and in tune when more videos are released. So I love the strategy that we're about to review today because I love to travel, right? For those of you all that don't know me, I grew up on the south side of Chicago majority of my life, and we grew up in poverty. So we didn't have any family trips like growing up. Like, I didn't leave the country for the first time until I was 23 years old. So once I got to a financial place to be able to buy my own flights and book my own trips, I started traveling the world. I've been to 37 countries in the last 6 years. And I've been able to do it in the way that work with my lifestyle, but I've also been able to do it in the way that helped me save on taxes. And I'm gonna share that strategy that I use in my life so that you can use it in your life as well. So the strategy that we're gonna talk about is called wrapping the weekend. And it works like this. So the IRS states, if you have a business, any expense that is both ordinary and necessary to operate that business is tax deductible to you, the business owner. So our goal is, how can we turn a personal trip and make it an ordinary and necessary business trip? What are the steps to be able to do it properly, legally, and have the documentation to prove it in case of an audit? So let's say, all my ladies out there, let's say you and your girls are going to Miami for a birthday trip. Y'all gonna fly out on Friday, party on Saturday, come back Sunday. Now, that is a 100% personal trip. You're going on this flight, you're going for a birthday, that's a personal trip, you're gonna have fun. That trip is 100% personal, meaning you cannot deduct that trip on your taxes because it's a personal trip, meaning it's a personal expense, and personal expenses are not deductible. Now the question is, how can we turn this personal trip into a legitimate tax deductible business trip? There are a few steps to be able to do so. Let's talk about it. Step number one is you want to make sure that you're traveling in and out of your location on weekdays. So instead of flying in on Friday and leaving on Sunday, I would recommend that you fly out on Friday and you come back on Monday. We want to travel on weekdays. Okay, so that's step number one. Step number two is we want to find business activity on all of the weekdays that we're going to be on vacation. If we're there on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, that means we have to find business activity on Friday and we have to find business activity on Monday. So the question that you're probably having is, all right, Carter, well, what qualifies as business activity? That's a very vague term. Glad you asked. What's up, family? If it's one thing that I know is true, is that you can survive without community, but you can't thrive without community. And in order to build true community, you have to get in the right room with the right people. And so we wanted to create that room especially for you. This is why we have Wealth Weekend. This is gonna be a weekend experience where you're gonna get amazing education, amazing experiences, and amazing entertainment all in one weekend, so you can become that first generation millionaire in your family. Because one thing I stand on is generational curses ran in my family until they ran into me. So my question is, are you gonna be that curse breaker for your family? And if you want to, you need to join Wealth Weekend. So click the link below and we'll see you there. Now let's get back to the episode. I'm gonna give you 3 of my favorite ways to find business activity on your personal vacation. First strategy is, if you're a business owner, which you need to be to implement the strategy, you probably have clients in different states or countries. So if you have a client in the place that you're traveling to, I would encourage you to take that client out to lunch. Because if you take that client out to lunch and discuss business, guess what? That is now a business lunch, and that qualifies, ding, 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 as business activity. Strategy number 2, let's say you don't have any clients in that state or country. What can you do then? Well, the next thing would be check your Rolodex and see if you have any other entrepreneur friends, business partners, colleagues that you would love to connect with. And if you do, you could take them out to dinner. And again, as long as you speak about business at the dinner table, that counts as a legit business meeting, and that counts as business activity. You know nobody in that country or that state. What do you do then? Well, then my advice would be to go to a website called eventbrite.com, or you can go to meetup.com. These are 2 websites that list various networking events in that state every day. So if I was to go to eventbrite.com, I would search financial networking events or content creator networking events, right? I'm a financial strategist and I'm a content creator. So as long as the networking event has something to do with my business, I can pay the $15, $20, $50, whatever it costs to go to the event. I can go to the event, shake hands, kiss babies, network, and that also qualifies as business activity. So now, whether I know somebody or not, Eventbrite's gonna do the work for me. It's gonna find the event, I pay for the event, and I go in, shake hands, kiss babies, and that qualifies as business activity. So if you do one of these 3 things on Friday, and you do one of these three strategies on Monday, you found business activity on the weekdays. Congratulations. So now what does this mean? What does finding business activity on weekdays mean? Well, with the IRS wrapping the weekend strategy, the IRS says, well, you know what, Carter? If you have to be in Miami on Friday and you have to be in Miami on Monday, it makes no sense for you to go home on the weekend because it will cost you more than just staying there. So what the IRS came up with, they said, if you have to be in a place on Friday, you have to be in a place on Monday. We don't care what you do over the weekend. The weekend is included in your tax deductible expenses. So what this means is, if we find business activity on Friday, business activity on Monday, our flight to Miami is now 100% tax deductible. That's ordinary and necessary to operate our business. Our flight back from Miami is now ordinary and necessary to operate our business because we have to be there on Monday. So we get to write our flight back from Miami. And then our lodging on Friday night, on Saturday night, on Sunday night is also 100% tax deductible because we needed somewhere to stay while we waited for our meeting on Monday. So now we write off our flight, there and back, now we write off our hotels, and we also get to write off 50% of the business meals that we have while we're in that location. So now we just turned a 100% personal trip into a legitimate 100% business trip. Now, here's the thing. You can still go out Friday night, kick it, party. You can sit on the beach Saturday, Sunday, drink margaritas. And as long as you are coherent to go to that networking event on Monday, You now turn that personal trip into a legit tax deductible business trip, which will allow you to write it off on your taxes within your business. So now let's talk about how do you properly document this? Because Carter, this sounds good, but I'm scared. I don't want to get in trouble. How do I document this? Well, for the business meals, the IRS says the way you properly document it is you need 5 items. And the good news is 3 of the items are already on the receipt. So in order to prove documentation for business meals, so you need the location, which is the restaurant, you need the date, and you need how much the meal costs. The receipt has all 3 of those. So then you just simply flip the receipt over and add the other 2, which is who did you meet with, and then what business was discussed. So once you have the receipt, flip it over, who did you meet with, what was discussed, take a picture and upload that to your QuickBooks software, your FreshBooks software, whatever software you use, upload it because that is your documentation. Now for the networking event, all you have to do is keep your receipt, right? Because that shows that you went there, and I will also recommend keeping your badge just in case, but that is how you make sure you have proper documentation for the networking event. So it's that simple. We have our receipts for lunch and dinner. We have our receipt for the networking event. We already have our receipt for the flights and hotels in our email. And now we just turn our personal trip into a business trip. So think about this. Before you travel anywhere in 2024, ask yourself, based on Carter's Wrapping the Weekend strategy, what can I do to turn this trip from a personal trip to a business trip? That way I can write it off on my taxes, enjoy more freedom, and travel the world on the IRS's. So let me know in the comments where you'll be traveling to in 2024 by leveraging this strategy. All right, guys, other than that, I'll see y'all on the next episode. Peace out.